Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar with your boy. We're going to be breaking down the ES and the NASDAQ. Going to go over our larger time frames and in the SPY and the triple Qs. We'll look at those more so than we will the actual futures contract because things are still kind of wonky as far as the larger time frames go. I know it's been a couple days since the last post. Just been kind of battling the mental struggle, you know what I mean? So you got to take a little bit of time away from the screens, away from everything, just kind of get a mental reset in your life every once in a while. Sometimes things can be a little gray, and I'm sure you guys out there know exactly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get right on into it. I'm not quite sure where we left off last, but I do believe nothing's changed, right? We've been in a large balance on our daily, on our weekly, and on our monthly time frames for both the ES and the NASDAQ. So for SPY and the triple Qs, we've all been in a pretty large balance. Now let's go ahead and just review these larger time frames real quick. The one thing I do want to note on the futures contract, because it's not as wonky to look at, is the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame, nothing has really changed on the monthly time frame. Monthly, we are still in a very large balance. Okay, as far as our futures contract goes, we are in a large balance on the monthly for the ES, right? 46.3350 being the monthly balance high, 43.50 being the monthly balance low. Now I was discussing in the room with Paul in his trading room. For those of you that don't know, Paul Asmar, great mentor, great person. If you don't know who he is, look him up on YouTube. He has great content, and he is a great mentor for those of you that want to learn profile. And you know, I'm not doing it for you. So everything I know is basically from that guy. I just kind of give it my own little twist. Anyway, our monthly is in a very large balance, and I was saying in the room that I think we can continue to chop around in this monthly balance for quite some time, and eventually begin to grind up and get our all-time high. Now, I was thinking more or less it was going to happen by the end of this year, but I'm thinking maybe we'll break out of balance by the end of this year, going into 2024, and then eventually go and get that all-time high in 2024, as we do have the election cycle coming around. Now, the only thing that will prevent that is if some black swan event comes out of nowhere, swan dives us, and we take out the monthly balance low and really start to get some type of volatility and uncertainty in the market that will push us down lower. That's the only way I can see this market really kind of rolling over and seeing lower prices. Other than that, I think both on the weekly, the daily, we should at some point start to see an uptick, even though the market has been under a little bit of pressure here recently. As you know, today and yesterday, we've just been kind of grinding lower on our intraday time frames, and you know, we really haven't seen much for it. Sellers have been weak, buyers have been weak, and we've just been kind of chopping around in the larger time frames. All right, so that does it for the futures contract. Let's look at what we got going in our monthly on the SPY, because these are the SPY and the Qs are going to be a little bit more concise, because you know, you don't have those big rollover gaps and stuff with future like the futures do. So same thing in SPY, balance right, 459.44 balance high, 433 balance low. Now our weekly, believe we are coming out of we are testing our weekly balance low, okay, here in the SPY, testing that weekly balance low of 439.97. Today, our low was 439.94, so we stretched it by 3 pennies in SPY. Okay, now we're coming out a double inside week to the downside, so you would think maybe you start to get a little bit more pressure. That is the closing bell. You would think we start to see a little bit more sell pressure to the downside. So keep an eye on this 439 level. If we hold above the 439 level, you could potentially see this market rotate back up to the 450 level and get above that. You will go and test these weekly highs here at 458 and 459. Should see 460, no issue. But we do have Papa Jerome Powell out tomorrow talking about the rates. We'll have the rate news come in tomorrow and see how this market reacts to it. If it is negative, we should have no issue pushing lower, taking out this weekly low, putting the weekly down as far as breaking balance. So if not, if excuse me, choking my sweat. If it's a nothing event like the last few times, we can continue to see chop within this range. Okay. Now our daily, things have changed a little bit on the daily. Our daily has broken out of balance. Okay. Our daily is broken out of balance. We attempt. Oh, that was way too much. We attempted to break out of balance yesterday to the downside. We stretched about just a hair, but today we got a break and then a pretty good push to the downside. Okay. So pretty good push to the downside. Daily is one time framing down, in my opinion. The weekly still in balance. Okay. So daily one time framing down below the 20 and the 50-day moving average now. And we do have the 200 down here at 417. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. However, this market, you never know, especially with the way they reacted today in the intraday. So for SPY, one time framing down, meaning we're setting higher low or lower highs, lower lows on our daily. The weekly time frame still in balance until we take out that low I was talking about, and our monthly still in a large balance. Now let's look at the Qs. We'll start from the daily and work our way up. Qs, same thing. Triple Qs. We have broken out of balance, right? Broken out of balance to the downside on the daily. The daily is now one time framing down. We climb back above 369 like we did today and hold above it. We should put ourselves back into a balance. However, if the market doesn't like what they hear tomorrow, we will roll over and potentially continue to take out low or set lower lows and lower highs, taking out today's low at 366.80 for the triple Qs. Okay, so keep that in mind. Daily is one time framing down. However, tomorrow's volatility and uncertainty with the way rate hikes are going to go could cause this market to come back into some type of balance, or have a wacky day where they have an outside day down or an outside day up, which sometimes tends to happen. Now let's look at our weekly time frame. All right, weekly, same. It's going to be basically the same look as the SPY, right? We are in a large balance, 380 to 364, large balance. So just chopping around in here for the Qs and for the NASDAQ, just chopping around in a balance. Okay, so nothing will change until we take out a balance low of 364.25 or the balance high of 380.83. So continue to chop around. So for the daily, if we look at what our daily looks like inside this weekly balance, right? If we continue to push lower, this daily should continue to push lower until you reach 364. If we take out tomorrow's low, or if we take out today's low of 366, you have a $2 drop until that next support area around 364.25 weekly balance low. Now let's look at our monthly. Our monthly is chopping around as well. Monthly, same thing. Balance on the weekly, balance on the monthly, just chopping around in a large range. Okay, so nothing has changed, just chopping around in here. 387.98 balance high, 354.71 balance low for the triple Qs. Okay, nothing will change for the monthly until we take out one of those destinations. All right, so now we reviewed both the Qs and the SPY. Let's go ahead and look at our intraday for the ES and then for the NASDAQ. Both were kind of wacky. So we got ES on the bottom left hand and then we got the NASDAQ on the bottom right hand. So both were very, very, very strange type of day. We went trend down early on in the day, meaning we had single prints, one time framing down. We had the overnight low. Sellers were in control and could have continued to push this market down lower if they really wanted to. However, they just got too short. And once we stop the one time framing down, we had a V-shaped recovery of short covering, putting us back inside of the previous day's range and putting a new high on the day in ES. Same thing for NASDAQ. NASDAQ did the exact same thing, right? we pushed down lower, breaking out of the daily balance. One time framing down, had a very small set of single prints, but had them. And then we began to kind of consolidate, stop the one time framing down. And then once we fill those sets of single prints, this market had a V-shaped recovery, where short rally and momentum buyers kind of pushed this market higher, setting it high on the day, just missing that 9Y point of control from yesterday at 15,433, and then just kind of chopping around to close inside of the previous day's trading range. So wacky day, right? We've been seeing these kind of V-shaped recoveries happen more frequently than I'd like, especially when I'm someone who likes to look for things like an afternoon rally high that can kind of get you in trouble. So if I make my money early on in the day, I'm definitely just going to step away and see what this market wants to do before I decide to take a trade again. So one thing I want to note on the NASDAQ that I haven't really done for the ES here is I've been looking at these high volume nodes here recently, and something that interested me, something that interested me is this was the balance area, right? So we broke that balance and then came back into it and tested it again, just kind of slightly resisting. The next thing I wanted to note was we pushed down into this choppy session back from August of 28, where we had like a very rotational day. And look at what we did. We pushed right into that area and rejected out of it pretty good. Okay. So could that have been the reason why these shorts began to cover in this area? Is because this was the initial cost basis for these longs, right? So after we had this day here on the 28th of consolidation, we broke out. We did nothing but move higher, right? So buyers were accumulating a position here and here, right? They accumulated a position, and then they began to get out of their positions here, right? In this consolidation point. All the buyers here sold up here, causing some type of supply. And anybody that was laggards got caught trapped long up here, came back down here. Buyers accumulated again, sold here where this previous inventory was long, right? Where the previous inventory was long there, had too much supply, market was too long, rolled over, dipped our toe back into where that original cost basis was, and we're finding some type of support initially there, right? So high volume node in that area, essentially. Your next point of interest is really that previous day's low at 15,175, and pretty high volume node right there as well. And then from there, another high volume node down around the 1550 level. So if this market is caught long up here, they should liquidate into these points of interest, which just so happens to line up with downside targets like 15,175 low of day, and then obviously you have that node in between, but 14,940 on the downside would be your next destination. Speaking of destination, let's go ahead and mark today's destination, since we're already looking at the NASDAQ. And you can kind of see this market was kind of just choppy early on. I did get involved on the short side though on these pushes up. We were pushing up around 90 and 91. Single prints we had it filled at 303. So I was looking to short anywhere from 290 to 303, and then I had my stops placed above 316. So had we pushed up there, I would have gotten out of this trade. So each time we pushed up to the 290 area, I got short, it rolled in, I took it off, made back some money that I lost in yesterday's debacle on the long side, where I got hurt on this liquidation break here. So today made back some money, took home I think roughly 130 points in the NASDAQ. I did nothing in ES today. Been kind of focusing on NASDAQ. But yeah, that's about it for the trades today. Let's mark destinations and then get you guys out of here. So we have today's low of day. Ooh. Forgot I'm still on the highlighted there. All right, we got today's low of day here at 248.50. 248.50 is today's low of day. And we had you got to respect the short-term traders, because that rally, if you were caught short and being stubborn, you got smoked, right? And if you didn't cover when we filled this, or when we popped B's high, you definitely started to cover once you got above half back, and then even more so once you got above the opening, right? So anybody that was stubborn and got caught short down here, especially at the lows, caused the demand in this market to kind of step in, where short-term traders like momentum buyers step in, causing more of a squeeze to the upside. So that's kind of how you break down today's price action, right? Market liquidated, got too short, accumulated here, shorts covered, more shorts piled on, wasn't enough supply, market rotated up higher, right? We have today's high of day at 15,408. 15,408. And I'm at a point now where like I'm trading, and I'm kind of just starting to be happy with taking $50 off the table. Like, you never know when these traders are going to do what they, the trade will work initially, and it might not be a home run trade, so you got to get out of it, right? So imagine, just for shits and gigs, right? Imagine I was getting short here at 90 and 95, thinking this market would roll over and continue to push down to the low of 15,175, right? And get that low of day. If I was doing that, right, trying to go for the home run trade, and then I'm like, okay, they pushed up, they filled, let me add to my position here at 15,300, and then they just keep on pushing up. I'm like, okay, they're going to eventually roll over. I'm short biased. I'm thinking this market's going to go down here. And I add at half back, 15,322. Now I'm really out of the money. And then this market continues to push up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop out for a couple hundred points of loss. And then that's what caused this market, right, to rally the way it did. So don't stay married to the trade is what I'm trying to say. Don't stay married to your positions. Get in, get out. Don't be afraid. Now, if you're a swing trader, right, if you took the short up here, beautiful short, you're definitely covering at the lows, right? So I'm not a swing trader. I'm a day trader. Take the points when I get them. All right, let's look at ES. Oh, excuse me. Let's review destinations for NASDAQ. NASDAQ, downside, 15,248.50. We take that out. 15,175 is your next destination. We take that out. There's a vacuum down to basically 1550 will be an interest. Like I said, 1550 would be an interest. And then 14,940 low of day from 825. Upside, today's high of day, 15,408. We take that out. We should have no issue getting that non-wide point of control at 15,433. Above that, we have the high of day, 1561. Single prints that we didn't fill in yesterday's session, which was very surprising. We didn't fill that, but 15,469.75 is where that fills. A point of interest here where the start of the sell tail is at 15,532, which should be 75. I don't know why it's 82, or 50. Anyway, then you have the high day at 15,625. And just because this market's volatile, 15,714 would be basically putting this market back into a large balance initially. All right, for the ES, you can see we took out today's or previous day's low, continue to drop, especially after that trend day down where we had a double distribution day, actually a triple distribution. We took it back yesterday, ended up with still double distribution, single prints holding. We rolled over, took out today's or the previous day's low, and then kind of just liquidated to and through these areas, right? We hit that 490, we hit the 483.25 level, then we hit 472.25, no problem. Got below that. That was all the destinations that algos and short-term traders wanted to hit, as the next destination was down here, 437.75. Pretty decent move, which would have exceeded a lot of the moves that we've seen recently to get to that point. So same concept, right? Market got too short. We began to rally, squeezing out the shorts that were caught down here, setting a new high on the day. So all we go out with today is today's high and today's low. We'll go ahead and mark those and then go over destinations for tomorrow's volatile session. So 62.25 will be today's low of day. Ooh. 62.25. Today's low of day. 19.23. Then we have today's high of day, which was a great, honestly, fade the extreme type of scenario. 96.75, where we had a high of 96.25. So if you faded the extreme there, you know, step in front of a running train kind of, and you faded that extreme, you did well because it came in pretty good. But that's not something I would have been looking for as far as the ES. Now, taking shorts against the single prints early on in the day definitely worked out, especially in, was it A, B, C, D, E, and E period when we couldn't fill the single prints. We rolled over, set a new low in the day, and then bounced. So that was probably the only trade that was worth it, was an E period. And I was too busy trading in NASDAQ to kind of pay any attention to the ES. 96.75 is today's high of day. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a like down below. Comment something. How did you trade? How is your week going? How are you doing? Let me know. So, as far as destinations, upside destinations, 44.96.75 high of day today, 45.14.50 next high of day. Then we have single prints that fill at 45.21, upper distribution high of day 45.40.50, then 45.62 is your next high of day, and then 45.69.75 would be the next daily high as a target. Downside, 44.62.25 today's low of day, 44.37.75 afternoon pullback low from August 25th. Then you have the low day down here at 44.12.25 low day from August 25th, and then low day from August 18th at 43.97.75. As far as the downside destinations, I don't have any more because this is the December contract. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful freaking week. Stay positive, wear your hard hats, see somebody, say something nice, right? You have a nice smile, things of that nature. Anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. See ya.